so much for coming in today. It should be a very, very exciting session because who doesn't like writing offers, right? Offers are what gives us the money. And as long as we know how to do that really well, which Holly will explain to you the best way to do it, so you can write very successful offers and have your clients make the right decisions and timely decisions so that you get those deals and get that paycheck. So here it is, Holly. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you so much.
So does everybody have their computer open? No? Okay, that's all right. You don't have to. Okay. Well, we're all set up here. All right, so yeah, this is the most exciting and kind of the point of being in real estate, having a job, is to make money. So how many people have done deals so far? Have presented offers? Okay, pretty much everyone. We've got a couple who haven't. So you guys are completely new, are you? Awesome, okay. All right, have you done any this year? Have you done lots of them? Several of them? No? Lots of leases, right? For you, okay.
In commercial for me. I'm kind of new to residential.
Oh, are you? Okay. All right, no problem. So, so we're going to have some practical exercises. I brought some sample offers. You will have to fill out some of it. And you're going to pair up, and one person will be the seller, the other will be the buyer. So you will negotiate. And I've got clauses in the offers already, so you'll determine which ones are applicable, which ones aren't. And I've printed out the MLS sheets as well. So you have, you're looking at me if
Having flashbacks to our earlier courses.
I know. And I've also printed off sort of a letter to the seller as well. So if anybody has done those, they can be a way of persuading them. Okay. Don't mind me, I'm going to have to use my notes a bit. Anybody, have most of you worked with buyers? Anybody with sellers? Nobody seller? Any listings? Yeah? All right, why don't I hand these out? So, does maybe somebody who has experience to work with these two guys? They haven't done offers at all.
Yeah, I think James.
James?
No, sorry. I think
Together?
for sure Angie.
Angie? Okay, all right, okay. Okay, you guys can work together and you can work with Kevin back there? Monica, is that okay? It'll be a lot easier for you if you haven't done any offers, right? So imagine this is your first offer.
Okay.
Okay, so do you know how to find an offer program, like how to write up an offer, anything like that? I'm not putting you on the spot. This is kind of.
I'm actually not even licensed.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
I'm actually completing my second course, so I'm just here.
Oh, are you? Okay, fantastic. Okay, so that's, so maybe you can observe. Hi, Adam. Great.
Adam, come here. Today is
That's great. So, yeah, maybe you guys can sort out some people that have experience to work with people who aren't licensed, or the non-licensed ones can maybe observe two experienced realtors negotiating, sort of sitting in. Does that make sense? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got somebody who's not licensed here.
Inexperienced, yeah.
Monica's not licensed yet, and Tashi, you've done some offers, did you say? Have you done offers? Have you-
just a lead.
Just a lease? Okay. And Adam, you've had lots of experience? You have? No. Okay. So, what's the first step about writing an offer? What do you do first? Say you're representing a buyer. What are you gonna do? You've got a buyer, they wanna put in an offer. Good?
Is it called the agent?
Yep. And what are you gonna ask them?
If there's any other offers,
Yeah.
when their ideal closing is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess you know if you're meeting in person or emailing, and then, yeah, just any details if the buyers have questions or anything, and then tell them, I usually say I'm putting something down now.
The time they want the offers bought.
That's a good question for them. And if there are no other offers? Like say the property's been on the market for a while.
Irrevocable, I guess, yeah.
If
Means
there's,
the property is on the market, but there's no offer, you're saying.
yeah, so this example here, I just picked a random,
And you change the price.
they changed the price, okay. Well, you'll know when you look at the MLS sheet, so if you can pass those around. So this was just a random property I picked out. It'd be funny if anybody had an offer on it. It has been on the market for 15 days. There's an extra one.
We're good.
Are you good?
Yeah, we got
Okay.
it.
Does anybody need one? Just do it slowly. Okay, so say there are no other offers and you're about to put an offer together. So you've got together with your buyer. What kind of things are going to help when you present the offer? So you're preparing the offer. You're about to do that. James? Like what kind of things are you going to organize for yourself and your buyer before you meet with the agent?
Okay, well, there's a
All
lot.
right.
I would, if I'm not familiar with the neighborhood, do some CMAs, you know, some other properties, just to make sure, you know, ask is something that might be reasonable. I'd also take a look at their Schedule B, just to make sure that I'm okay with everything that they put in it. I'd make my own Schedule A with some clauses that my clients are looking for.
Okay. Good. Anybody anything
Holly,
to that?
your question is like, you present the offer
Yeah.
and what you will do in order to accept your offer. Your question is
We're starting with just preparing the offer because that's kind of it's a very important place to start because you want to gather all the information you can to present your buyer. So you're selling your buyer to the seller as a good candidate for purchasing the house.
I usually write a blurb about them, about my buyer,
Yeah.
and make them go and get a deposit check,
Yeah.
and I'll tell them what they should get it for,
Yeah.
depending on the price.
Yeah.
And just make sure they're organized on their end too, and I have like a photo of them or something. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Yeah. And what's the importance of the deposit check?
If someone's close and you don't have a deposit and the other person does, they might just take that because they know the money's there and
Yeah.
it's basically not, it's done, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when you have a deposit check, like a bank draft prepared, then it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of worth the money, right? It's, the seller sees that, you know, they don't want to walk away with it because you're well organized, got the deposits. It's harder for them to, you know, walk away from the deal, or if you're in multiple offers, you know, it definitely is a better offer. We've refused offers and taken one that was less, just because they had a deposit check, so.
People can have trouble at the bank getting a large sum out all at once,
Yeah.
and then it could stall for days, and if they need to close, like, it's, yeah.
Yeah, and they can walk away from it as well. I mean, it's really hard to get after them when they're in the, you know, you want to try to go to court and all that kind of stuff. It's not fun. So this is an example of a letter. They're not real people. Well, they were once. Their names have been changed. So this is an example of what Natalie was mentioning, just about a letter to the seller. So these don't always work. Some sellers don't care. They just, you know, are looking at the money and the closing date and all that kind of thing. But it's surprising how many people are really touched by that gesture. Like it matters to them who's going to move into their home. And, you know, because they care about their neighbors, that kind of thing. Or the home has been in the family for a long time and they have a sentimental attachment. So, I mean, you can try to tap into that and, you know, talk about your buyers. And then also with presenting to a seller, you want, like I mentioned, you are selling your buyer to the seller. So what do you think I mean by that? Besides the letter, so you've got an offer, you've got a bank draft.
You're selling whether there's conditions or not?
Yeah, there's conditions or not, and also their financial stability, where they work, how much of a down payment they'll have, like not just the deposit amount, how long they've maybe been at their jobs, if they're getting family support, if somebody's co-signing and all that kind of thing. So just to, you know, present them as stable financially and just to ensure that the deal will close. And if they have a property to sell as well. And so I usually ask, well, I do ask where the property is, because, you know, what if it's an area that, you know, has 5 identical, say it's a condo, they're moving up to a semi-detached. If there are 5 units in the building that are the same that aren't selling, then, you know, if they need to sell that in order to move, might be hesitant to take their offer. Right? Anybody have any questions about that? No? Good? Okay.
Do you guys always have your seller in the room?
Not 100% of the time. It depends. Like if they're elderly, you know, we may do it through email. They prefer to be in the comfort of their own home. It's really up to the seller. I like to do it in person. And yeah, it depends on the person. I mean, some sellers really want to be involved with it and they want to see everything, and others don't. We just tell them to have a poker face. So, what do you guys do?
We don't, they're in the building, but they're not in the room.
Yeah, I heard that too. And what's the reason behind that?
Ultimate relaxation, as relaxed as they can be. You
Yeah.
know, they're sipping on a cocktail and nibbling on something.
Not too much, right?
No, it's not, like, I mean, you know, like a bottle of bubbly, like
Yeah, that's nice, a little preemptive.
a little preemptive something.
Yeah,
It's more like a bubbly fruit juice,
Yeah.
frankly. But it's so that there's no play on their emotions.
right, okay. Yeah, I do a little coaching before, and I
Yeah.
do tell them that people will try to play on their emotions.
Yeah.
And I want them to hear what is on the offer. I read through the offer, each step of the
Yeah.
offer, so everyone is on the same page. And, you know, just to, you know, talk about how the agent presented their buyer and that kind of thing. Just so we have the same information. I mean, it pretty much would be, I mean, you or Trish would present the offer to the sellers, but.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
like track, we just process everybody who's coming in as buyers
Yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah.
It's a bring your best offer,
Mm-hmm,
and that's it. Because
Yeah.
we're guaranteed that we'll do another round.
mm-hmm,
And, you know, we track everything, who's got what conditions, everything.
mm-hmm.
And then we go away and present that in a very relaxed situation.
That's nice. and
Working
nice.
from the lowest price to the highest,
Mm-hmm, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And then the client is not, and as in fact, the last sale we had, one of the agents, the buyer's agents coming in, knew one of the sellers. So right away, there would have been some, you know,
Mhm.
potential
Yeah.
to taint the offers.
yeah,
And they weren't the strongest offer.
yeah.
But could that have impacted? Maybe, maybe
Maybe.
not, but this way it's leveled.
Yeah, I guess it's, I mean, that's a great idea. I don't know if like, you know, maybe there's some clients that would be beautiful, you know, be very, you know, relaxing. Others want to be very
Others
involved.
want to be involved in it,
Yeah.
you have to read the client.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, so that's, I mean, that's a, you know, good option. Anyone else have any different experiences? Angie, do you do anything?
No, I just actually prefer to do in person, but
Yeah.
the one that I had recently was interesting because we had, most of them were email, there was only one agent that presented in person at the house.
Okay.
So, of course, she had it right off the bat, she had an advantage,
Absolutely,
and she had a check in hand,
yeah.
because none of the emails did. Well, one
Right.
of them had a photograph,
Yeah.
so they ended up winning anyway,
Yeah.
because they were able to up their offer a little bit to beat the best. But the best one, they presented it email, there was no deposit,
Mhm.
hadn't met the agent, hadn't talked to them beforehand, so they were definitely just, even though they were the best offer.
Right, yeah,
So it really, I think it really makes a big difference.
absolutely. Kathy, you have a question?
Yeah, so when you're doing an offer, there's certain things that will put you up ahead, like just being present instead of email and using technology
Mhm,
and having clients with you to check.
mhm.
So those are there any other things? And what would make it a bad presentation or not so strong? I wouldn't say bad, but not a strong presentation.
Yeah, well, some of it, like, it starts off like how you walk into the room.
Right.
You know, it's, you know, that first impression kind of thing. I've had agents who have, I'm like this, you know, in an offer presentation.
What?
Yeah, and I'm like, okay. And they're just like kind of sitting there, and I'm like, all right, you want to tell me a little bit about your client?
Wow.
Yeah, they're a young couple. Yeah, seriously.
So even though
Yeah.
they show up, they still,
Yeah,
they're not showing up, they're
Yeah, they're not, yeah.
Just a-
And it was multiple offers too. Wow. And I've had, you know, some show up without deposit checks. And one who was kind of an experienced agent, you know, I said in the end, like, the offers were close, but we're going with this offer, they had a deposit check. And she's like, well, why do you need a deposit check? I've never heard of that before. I'm like,
What?
seriously, yeah, you run into all different kinds of situations. That's why it's
Oh my God.
yeah, it's an education on both sides. Like when you're doing listings and you're working with buyers, you really get to understand, you know, the behavior of other people, so you kind of know what you're up against. But it really starts with that, like know your clients really well, be on time, be organized. So it also puts you in a calmer state as well. You know, when you know what you're doing. Like ask the questions ahead of time, like if there's something about, what do you call it, right of way or something like that. Just, you know, whatever may come up, like ask questions ahead of time about the house. If you want to do a home inspection ahead of time, do that. And, you know, if they have a home inspection at the house, that's okay, but, you know, you want your client to know, and you know, what's going on with the house, and sometimes doing a walkthrough with a home inspector, the home inspector who did the initial home inspection. That's good for your client, and, or, you know, they do their own home inspection, like that as well. But that, if they come in with an offer, they've seen the initial home inspection, they've done their own, that makes their offer a bit stronger, like in my view, like they've really done their homework, and obviously price is gonna be a big thing, it's not always, you know, the most important. Closing date, if someone has a property to sell, it can cost them thousands of dollars if they don't get the right closing date, or they're, you know, they have to pay out their mortgage, that kind of thing.
I guess if someone's, I haven't done this, but if someone hasn't sold the house, you can maybe work out a clause if someone's more flexible with closing, if the person's struggling. If you know they haven't bought it, it is hard to buy in Toronto, so.
Yeah.
Or find something that would make it, like yours be more appealing, I guess.
Yeah. So how do you word that clause?
I haven't done that, but I was like, I was thinking about it actually with a seller recently, because
Yeah.
they were nervous because they haven't bought a house and haven't liked anything, and they're selling, so I was thinking of something like that, because
Yeah.
it's, I don't know.
Yeah, if it's to the seller's advantage, again, if you're working with buyers, you know, if your buyers want to extend or advance the closing date, if it's to the seller's benefit,
Yeah.
if you're working in multiple offers, that kind of thing. Yeah, it can be possible, or you can look for Airbnbs for them,
Yeah.
you know? There are a lot of short-term rentals there that go around, so it's actually easier for sellers to transit.
I have a question.
Hi.
When you have multiple offers, right, and the buyer doesn't bring an offer like 2 copies, only 1 copy,
Mhm.
and he has to go change something,
Mhm.
he can walk away if he wants to.
Yeah, well, that I think is arguable in a way. I mean, it's something to, maybe talk to broker of record about. But essentially, they have presented the offer.
Are there,
So,
like, there is any
yeah, if you
commitment?
keep it, then it's like, yeah, we have your offer. If they're walking away, they're walking away, right? They're going to do that anyway.
Later, or whatever, right?
Yeah, there'll be something, so.
Because, otherwise, how can you make a copy of the offer, right? He present the offer and then.
That's why I like to do them in the office. Got a nice photocopier nearby.
Right, at the
Yeah.
office?
Yeah, like here, I mean, it's nice having all the, technology close by, particularly printers and scanners and all that kind of thing, makes it easier.
Or you can ask them to email it to you first, let's say, and
You
then
do that.
present it,
Sure.
bring a copy when they come to,
Yeah,
so you have 2 copies.
yeah, I mean, it's to the benefit to have more than 1 copy, again, that just shows you know what you're doing. Right, like, and I wouldn't say golden days, but we used to bring 4 copies to every offer.
4 copies?
Mhm.
And why 4? Just,
1 for the seller, 1 for the selling agent, buyer agent, and the buyer.
okay,
So before DocuSign and all that kind of thing
right.
came in, so it just makes it easier for everyone.
And so if you were to have, let's say, 3 price points, depending on the situation, you would have then 12 copies.
Well, 12 covers.
Yeah.
Like if it's just price, then you
Yeah.
could have different prices, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And, yeah, you guys get written, like, email confirmation of those prices, right? We're going in with this and keeping good records of that. Okay. Do you guys know what we're talking about? We're kind of going off track.
The first page?
Yeah, just the first page, if you have pre-printed ones with different prices,
Yeah.
depending on the situation, yeah.
You're going to just blank and sign.
Yeah, just blank, yeah, if they're there.
Get a text.
Yeah, yeah, just as long as you keep records, you have to keep records up, like, for 6 years. So, this isn't it. Okay, so where were we? We're talking about how to present your buyer.
Yeah.
So, other things that you can do. So being organized and, walking into the room with confidence and being calm and all that kind of thing. Because, like, it gets very exciting, your buyer's excited, stressed out. So what do you think will help you besides knowing what you're doing? Say you have to put in an offer in 3 hours, like right now. You're gonna go bully offer on, well, you can't bully them, it's
Meditate.
15 days on the market. Okay. Sure. Well, you can do that. How about your offer setup? Like, how do you have it set up so you can do an offer quickly?
Forms.
Okay, so web forms. So everybody uses web forms.
Put the
Web
MLS
forms.
number, put the MLS number in, and then we'll display all the names.
It doesn't always.
No?
No, it didn't for this one, actually.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just quickly cover like the templates. Does anybody use templates in web forms?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have like an offer, but
Yeah.
just like the main clauses, I try and keep it pretty tidy.
Yeah.
And then I usually, and then adjust depending on what chattels are included and how
Mhm.
many of what, but I have, yeah, pretty much a structure that I follow for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, that's
That's all
good.
the documents, right? So you can make like a transaction kit for like a house buy offer. And then you put like, working with the realtor, buyer's agent,
Yeah.
the offer, 801, and then. you
Yeah,
can
so
just
I
set
use it like a
all that.
template and then
Yeah.
you're like create a transaction kit. and
Exactly.
then- Yeah, does anybody else use that? You use that? You guys use that?
I
No?
would
Okay.
recommend using it just for the sake of having the most up-to-date versions.
Absolutely,
of all the
yeah.
agreements.
Yeah, and then you won't forget clauses as
Mhm.
well. Like I
Have you
actually,
created template
what's that?
I
Have
can
you
show- I can
created
show you
template?
later. I'll show you.
on the web forms? Is that
Yeah,
what-
it's on web forms, yeah, you can do that. Treb Help Desk is really helpful for that kind of thing too, if no one else is available. So that's another way of being able to do it quickly and, be organized and get on your way and go present the offer. Okay, so I'm going to just give this out here. So in that offer package, there are a couple of forms you may or may not use.
But that's my personal, and then I have my business. My business should be.
Who's a good listener? I'm your whistler. Hi guys, can I have your attention back? So that offer that you're going to be working through, I put a couple of extra forms in there. I don't know if you know about them. There's a Form 127. It's acknowledgement of conditions and offers. Does anybody use that one?
Yeah.
You use that one? Okay. Do you ever present it to the seller?
I can't remember, because I've most of the offers I've done with the emails.
Oh, have
So
they? Okay.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I might have. What happens if I use DocuSign,
Yeah.
that it's kind of included in that, so then it goes automatic. I'm not ever sure whether it should be really, is that what it's
Okay.
though? Is it really necessary?
I bring it with me now. Yeah, because crossing off the conditions of inspection and
Yeah.
financing, they're not really binding.
Right, so that's a way of reinforcing
Yeah, it's just
that
saying,
they're
like, we've
aware
had
of
this
it. Yeah, so I
discussion.
think that's probably what
It's-
I've done too. then.
Yeah, so I've had sellers and their agents respond really well to that.
Yeah.
So just in case you haven't used it before or seen it. No. And then there's the offer conveyance form as well. So if you're emailing, which we often are doing these days, if you're not using DocuSign, because it's obvious when well, actually, you don't know if the seller's received it, if they're not responding. Anyway, the offer conveyance form is just to know that the agent has in fact shown it to the seller. So, anyway, just so you know what's in that little pile there.
What is the offer conveyance? Oh, okay. Oh, this is to make sure that he's sure.
Yes.
This is what you send it by email, and this one is for conditions of offer. What's this?
This instead of crossing out.
Okay, so this is the offer process here. So when you're making the offer, the seller's going to respond in one of three ways. So you guys have experienced this before. So they counter the offer, which starts to get into a little bit of negotiation. That's probably the case with this property on Shaw. They're not likely going to accept it right away. If it's 15 days on the market, it's unlikely unless another offer comes in, which is possible. Or they'll accept the offer. So, multiple offers, you're the winner. Then everybody starts signing, and then, you get to give the good news to your clients. Or they'll reject the offer. You can always go back later as well.
So reject the offer means the listing salesperson will call the buyer salesperson saying your offer is rejected?
Yeah.
Or like he gives a time frame like 24 hours irrevocable, and the listing salesperson did not sort of like contact the particular offer, that means it's already rejected.
That's right, yeah, so if they're just rejecting it, they're not going to sign back, they're not going to give them an irrevocable time. It's just going to be like, thank you very much for your offer, my seller is, is going to wait. And it's like, maybe they won't sell, or, if you could up your offer, but they're not going to respond at this moment, or whatever, whatever is appropriate.
The listing salesperson has to call that buyer salesperson saying, no, we're not going ahead with this one.
That's right. Yeah, it's important to communicate with the other agent, definitely. Hey, James, you have a question?
In the sequence of accepting and refusing and getting back to the agents, what does your time frame usually look like? So all the offers have been presented, everyone's come back with their strongest offer. Now, will you accept one, make sure everything's good with that, then call and let everyone else know that they weren't accepted?
It really depends on how close the offers are. Right? If they're two very close, it depends on the seller. That's the thing, right? It really is up to the seller. We start to think we know what's best, right? it's like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, and then it's really, we have to present it to the seller, let them know what their options are, and the risks involved with maybe, you know, accepting one offer or signing it back, and, you know, let them decide. We get impatient, because we've seen it so many times before, we kind of know how it's gonna play out. But, yeah, so talk to the seller, let them have the, you know, get them to understand what's going on, and, yeah, if they're two really good offers, and then one agent said, well, you know, if you don't answer soon, like, maybe they'll change their irrevocable time if they come back with an offer. So that's something you can do as a buyer's agent as well, like change the irrevocable time. It's not always a nice thing to do. You know, shorten up the time in which the seller has to respond.
You can't change it once you've sent in your first offer.
But if they, no,
But if they sign back.
that's right, yeah. Yeah, or if they're sending back, offers back for improvement. But you can do that when it's like it's a house that doesn't have any offers on it.
Right, you can be more aggressive.
Yeah, a little bit, but you do want to, you know, you want to keep it on a sort of friendly, you know, respectful level and everything, because you don't necessarily win when you're being aggressive. You want them to both come away, you know, that win-win thing. Yeah. So, any other questions about that?
Sorry, I missed the part, but, so it's better to put like 24 hours or make always a shorter time?
We can get into that after. I'm just going to talk about the process, just run through this and let you guys, you know, attempt negotiation with each other. And then we can, I'll move around the classroom and then, you know, help you out with that. We've got scripts. Did you guys get a handout at all? I wasn't sure if they were going to give you a handout. No? Okay. Usually there's a little script available. Okay. All right, so I'm going to veer off this a bit and get you guys to work together to just fill out an offer. Say, so it's 1648, the offer price. So look at the MLS listing and then just fill out the particulars of the offer form there. Okay, so one of you can be the buyer's agent. Okay, so, but work together on it.
Let's do both.